guys, so today we're looking at more theory and we're progressing from, we're taking the major scale and then we're moving on into key signatures and then we're moving from key signatures into building chords, okay? Now if you don't understand how to create a major scale or how to create a major key signature, go back and watch these two videos, otherwise you won't really understand what's going on in this video. But today, like the title suggests, we're looking at how to create chords, okay? And specifically we're going to look at major chords, minor chords, diminished and augmented. We're just going to look at triads, meaning 3 notes per chord. Triads in this video, but from this video we're going to branch out. I'm going to show you how to do 7th chords, minor, major, dominant 7th chords, 9th chords, sus2 chords, sus4 chords, 11th chords, minor 11th chords, 13th chords, yada yada. I'm going to show you how to do all of the sort of major chords that you're going to be using all the time. But the big thing is, once you've watched this video and once you have the knowledge of this video, you'll actually be able to understand, you know, any other chord. So if you have a chord symbol and it says flat 5, flat 7, you'll actually, from this video, you'll be able to work it out. Don't have to make a video for every chord, because just with this knowledge, you'll be able to work it out yourself. All right, here we go. First, you need to pick a key and write down all the major notes or the scale degree numbers in that key. So it's exactly the same, remember, as the major scale. So I've chosen the key of C, and I've written out the C major scale, okay? And now remember, we're looking at major chords, yep? So you start off with a major scale, exactly like what we've done there. Then all you do is you write out the degree numbers underneath the letters. So you start at the beginning, the bottom C, that's 1, that's the first degree, yeah? The second is the second, E is the third, F's the fourth, G is the fifth, A is the sixth, B is the seventh. Back to the beginning. So all I did was put numbers ascending from 1 to 8, okay? So 1 is the beginning and 8 is an octave higher, yep? So once you've got that, with a major chord, all you're doing is, in a major chord, you're using the 1, the 3, and the 5 in a major chord. What that means basically is the 1, the 3, and the 5, those are the scale degree numbers that you're using. So get rid of everything else but the 1, the 3, and the 5. So if we do that, now remember, we're only looking at triads, meaning 3 notes in the chord. So there you have it, those are the 3 notes in a C major chord, or a major triad specifically. Done. C, E, and G. That's it, really simple. Now I'm going to turn it vertically and just show you. Same notes, same numbers, just turn it vertically just to show you a different way of looking at it. So that's how you create those. So if you follow those steps, that's how you create any major chord, okay? I'm going to show you another example using a different key or using a different major scale, but basically all you do, it's going to be exactly the same every time, is you write out all the notes in the major scale. So if you want an A major chord, you write out all the notes in an A major scale, and then all you want to use is the 1st degree, the 3rd degree, and then the 5th degree. That's all you want to do. Every time with a major chord, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. Let's do another example. Let's do A. Okay, so now I'm going to show you another example, just so it gets stuck in your head, yeah? So we're doing the A major chord, yeah? So I've written out here all the letters that would be in A major scale, which, remember, is the same as an A major key signature, yeah? So let's just write the scale degrees. So the first A is going to be 1, B is going to be 2, C sharp is going to be 3, D is going to be 4, E is going to be 5, F is going to be 6, F sharp is going to be 6, G sharp is going to be 7, and back an octave up, A is going to be 8, yeah? So it might be a little bit hard to see, so zoom in. Okay, so there it is there. That's all the scale degrees. And remember, what do we want? We want the 1, the 3, and the 5, yeah? So take out the ones you don't want. Done. So those right there, those are the notes in the A major triad, yeah? A, C sharp, and E. Let's turn it vertically. The 1, the 3, and the 5. Done. So it's just that simple. So if you want any major chord, all you do is write out the major scale and then circle the 1, the third degree, and then the fifth degree. It's just that easy. I know it seems like, it's going to take you a little while before you understand all the notes in every different major chord, but it just takes that. It just takes a little bit of time, and then you'll just have it instantly once you start looking at the different shapes of your fingers and what notes you're actually playing, yeah? Now let's move on to the minor chords. So now we're looking at minor chords, but you actually follow the same principle that we did with the major chords, yeah? You write out, so we want C minor, and then I'll do another example. So we want C minor, so you write out the C major scale again, always the major scale or the major key signature. Once it's all written down, write down the scale degree numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bit messy handwriting, but you get the idea, yeah? And then all you want is, again, you want to circle the 1, the 3, and the 5. What about the 2, the 4, the 6, 7, and 8? Because we're just looking at a triad chord, yeah? Just 3 notes. So there you have the 1, the 3, and the 5. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, well, that's a major chord. And it is. So all you need to do to turn a major chord into a minor chord is flatten the third degree. So you draw a little flat symbol on the 3, and you draw a little flat symbol. So instead of it being E, it's actually E flat. So the third is going to be flat in a minor triad, and that's the only difference. So if you've got your guitar with you now, strum an A major chord, and then strum an A minor chord. See how there's only 1 fret difference? You're just moving from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret, yeah? Simple, that's all there is to it. So you just flatten the third degree. Back 1 semitone or back 1 fret on a guitar. Let's do another example. Let's do the G minor chord. As you've probably noticed, I've skipped ahead. I've drawn the G major scale or the G major key signature, and then I've put scale degrees under them already, because we already know that. But remember, we want the 1, the 3, and the 5. What about the rest? What about the 6, 7, and 8? What about the 4 and the 2? And then remember, and this is really important, you have to flatten the third degree. So a little flat on the 3, and then a flat on the B. And that's it. So you have to, that third degree, you have to take it back a semitone or take it back a fret. Otherwise it's just a major chord, but we want minor. We want a sad sounding chord as opposed to a happier sounding chord. So that's it. That's the G minor chord. Let's move on to diminished chords. So now we're looking at diminished chords, okay? Now you follow exactly the same steps. I know it sounds crazy, but it always works. Just the same steps. Now I've chosen C because it's really easy to write up, and it's really easy for you guys to see that there's no sharps or flats, okay? It's just from 1 C all the way up the musical alphabet to the next D. And I've written out there the scale degree numbers as well, okay? So again, we're looking at a triad, and specifically in this triad, the diminished triad, we're looking at, again, the 1, the 3, and the 5. So get rid of the others. Get rid of the 2. Get rid of the 4. Get rid of the 6. 7 and 8, because we only want a triad. We only want the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th, okay? So remember, unless you change it, that's going to be the notes in a C major chord. That's going to be C, E, and G, C major. Now if you wanted a minor, remember, you'd flatten the 3rd, you'd take the 3rd back. So E would become E flat. So now it's minor. So it's gone from major to minor, and now we're going to make it diminished. So now we flatten, or take back 1 fret, or 1 semitone, the 5th degree. So a little flat on the 5. So the G note is now a G flat. So you go from playing a G, back a fret, or back a semitone to a G flat. So that there is a diminished triad. That's all there is to it. Really easy. It's a 1, it's a flat 3, and then it's a flat 5. So you've flattened the 3rd degree of a scale and the 5th degree of a scale. I'll do it one more time in a different key. Let's do it the key of D. Another example, now we're going to look at the D diminished chord, okay? Now there's the D major scale. Just a series of tones and semitones. Again, go back to the start of this video and look at those links if you don't know how to make a major scale or a major key signature. Remember, same thing. So we're going to write out the scale degree numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And remember, we want the 1, the 3, and the 5. Get rid of the 6, 7, 8. Get rid of the 4. Get rid of the 2. So now all we have is the 1, the 3, and the 5. So if we were after a D major chord, that would be it, yeah? D, F sharp, and A. 1, 3, 5. If we were after a D minor chord, we'd flatten the third, yeah? Put a little flat there, and it goes from F sharp, back a semitone or back a fret, to F, okay? So, and we don't need to draw a little flat because that would take it even back one. We're just getting rid of the sharp because we're going back a fret, yeah? And now the 5th fret, because it's diminished, needs to go back a semitone or back a fret. So the 5 gets flattened, and A goes back a semitone or back a fret to A flat. So there is a D diminished chord. D, F, A flat. Easy. Now let's go on to augmented chords. Now we're looking at augmented triads, yeah? So all we do, remember I'll always start with C major because there's no sharps and flats, very easy to look at. Write down the scale degrees. Okay, that's the scale degrees done, and remember we want the 1, the 3, and the 5. Again, it's not always going to be the 1, the 3, and the 5 when you're talking triads, but in the major, the minor, the diminished, and the augmented, specifically, this is the way we do it. We do it with the 1, the 3, and the 5. In other chords, you're going to use other... Now, with the major, the minor, the diminished, and the augmented triads, you use the 1, the 3, and the 5, okay? With other chords, you use different scale degrees. But just for these ones that I'm showing you today, you're always going to use the 1, the 3, and the 5, okay? So rub out the 6, the 7, the 8th. Rub out the 4, and rub out the 2. Okay, so you should know by now, C, E, and G, what's that? 1, 3, 5, that's the major chord. So that's C major. Now with an augmented chord, all you do is you don't flatten, you sharpen. So the 5th degree gets sharpened. So you draw a little sharp. And the G goes up to G sharp. And that's it. So that's the difference there. It's a 1, a 3, and a sharp 5. So whatever it is that's on the 5th degree, it goes up a fret or up a semitone. Now let's draw that vertically, yeah? It'll understand why I'm doing this vertically later on when you look at extended chords, 7ths, 13ths, 11ths, 9ths, that sort of stuff, yeah? So let's do it again. So we've got the 1st degree, the 3rd degree, and then the 5th, but the 5th is sharpened. If the sharp wasn't there, it would just be a normal major chord. C, E, G sharp. So that's a C augmented. Okay, so before we go into the theory behind me, okay, basically what I've done on the board behind me is I've written out the major, the minor, the diminished, and the augmented. I've written out the formulas, okay? Now if you have a look at the major, it's just the 1, the 3, and the 5. So major is 1, 3, 5. If you wanted a minor chord or a sad sounding chord, all you do is flatten the 3rd degree, so it'll be 1, flat 3, then 5, normal 5, okay? These are just scale degree numbers, remember. Okay, next we're looking at the diminished, and you have the normal 1, you have a flat 3, and a flat 5. So all you would do is you'd make a major, and then you'd flatten the 3rd degree and the 5th degree to get a diminished. And finally, and I'm going to have to step off frame here, we have the augmented, okay? And now with the augmented, you have a 1, a 3, and a sharp 5. So you take the 5th degree, a 1, so with the augmented, you have a 1, a 3, and a sharp 5. So all you do is you take the 5th degree, and then you'd sharpen it. You take it up a fret, or up a semitone. So I'm going to quickly draw up a C major scale, or a C major key signature, and with the scale degrees, and then we're going to do all these chords really quickly, and I'll show you how easy it is, okay? Okay, so that's the C major scale at the very top, yeah? Now there's not a lot of room, so I'm not going to write the scale degree numbers, but you should know already that you don't need the 2, so you need the 1 and the 3. Do you need the 4? No. You need the 5, of course, but you don't need the 6, 7, and 8. So the C, E, and G at the top there, that's the 1, 3, and 5, so that's C major, yeah? So that's done. We can do that now. C, E, G. Done. So that's C major. Okay? Now if we were doing C minor, we'd flatten the 3rd. So it would be C, E, G, but you'd flatten the 3rd. C, E flat, and G. So E would go down a fret or down a semitone to E flat. Next, we have the diminished, okay? So we draw up it again, C, E, G. We flatten the third, and we flatten the fifth degree. Okay? So that there is the diminished. And now we have the final one, it'll have to be off frame. We have the augmented, okay? And it's 1, 3, and a sharp 5. So the 1, of course, is C, the 3 is the E, and the 5th is G, but it's not a normal G, you have to sharpen it. So G becomes G sharp, over there. And that's it. So now with this knowledge, you can make any major, minor, diminished, or augmented triad that there is. All you do is if you wanted, let's say if you wanted an F minor chord, yeah? You'd write out the F major scale, or the F major key signatures, all those notes. You do scale degree numbers at the bottom, and all you'd want is the 1, 3, 5, and then you'd flatten the third. I know it seems like a lot of theory, but watch this video a few times and look at information in the description below, or leave a comment if you get confused. But once you understand this, you actually will understand what notes are going to work, more for solos over these particular chords, and you build onto 7th chords, 13th, 11th, 9th, yada yada. But it all comes back to understanding this knowledge. So if you don't understand how to make a major, minor, diminished, or augmented, watch this video until you get it, or leave a comment, because everything branches out from there. So that's it for today. So well done if you made it to the end. This is a really important bit of theory, and it will help everything. It'll help your songwriting, your playing, because now you know what notes are in chords, and now you know what's under your fingertips. It's not just another shape, it's not just another bunch of numbers. You actually know the musical value of what chords you're playing. Okay, well done.